Well, back to Game 7.
The worst two words in
The worst
Denver
two.
Nuggets history.
That's all we ever do. What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Losers Lounge. Everybody gather in. Everybody gather in. Come on in. Huddle up. Let's talk this thing out. Nuggets fall to the Clippers 111 to 105 in a tough game. Just a tough one. This one didn't have a ton of highlights or beautiful basketball. This was a slugfest, and the Clippers slugged a little bit harder. Slugged a little bit harder.
I don't know.
A couple key adjustments in this game, though. The Clippers make their move and make some adjustments that the Nuggets are now going to have to adjust to in Game 7 on Saturday night here. You're going to want to be here at the DNVR bar if you're not at Ball Arena. I got Harrison Wind with me.
We're 0-2 in the studio. That's all I can think about.
Man,
right now.
I know. You knew it. Eric was gone. Eric had to go on a work
Our vibes
trip.
weren't
We could
where
just
they
feel
needed
it,
to
man.
be.
We could feel it coming. Superstar Dev's here.
There's so many people that people are gonna blame.
Should we put D-line at the top of the list?
But I just feel like it is Eric's fault.
I mean, that's where we have to start.
I just...
You got to start there.
I'm glad that we all caught that. It was Eric's fault. Everybody knows it.
We're also presented by Bet365. Download the Bet365 app. Use the code DNVR365 when you sign up. Choose your offer. Find out why. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. There is a lot to get to on this game, so we're going to dive into it. I'll give you a fast breakdown now so we can relive our pain and misery, as we are known to do. Murray and AG going to work early. Man, the first note, not only not telling the story, but telling kind of the opposite. Jamal Murray, Murray flurry, right out of the package, 12 points, looking incredible, moving incredible. James Harden was more aggressive than in Game 5 right out of the first quarter. That note did track and continued for the rest of the game. And the Nuggets built a lead, but the Clippers closed the gap late. It was 28-25 Nuggets after one. Second quarter, Murray back on the court, no rest. Maybe this was the problem.
He played a ton the first
Did
half.
Adelman go JJ Redick on us and maybe wear out the guys a little bit too early?
Well, not at the center position.
But he was along with DeAndre Jordan, Aaron Gordon, Michael Porter Jr., and Russell Westbrook. And why this is important is there was no Zubats. This was one of the adjustments. They were going to play Batum a lot more. They were going to play Bogdanovich a lot more. And they mixed up there. So DeAndre Jordan goes out there against a small ball lineup. How did it go? Well, he was horrible. He made a mistake on the first 5 possessions. He did something egregious, even illegal screens. And it just was horrible. Why was he out there? Clippers go from down 3 to up 7 immediately. And the Nuggets started the quarter with 6 turnovers. It wasn't even that it was bad. It was turnovers. Then Jokic comes back into the game, picks up his second foul. Harden got cooking. Clippers were up 7. They had all the momentum. Nuggets did make a timeout and made a run out of that timeout. Zubats picked up his second, and Jokic got going. He got up to 20 points in the first half, most of those coming in that second quarter, and it was 58-57. I felt great about that at half.
Oh, yeah.
Because it felt like the Nuggets should be down more. They had a horrible start to that second quarter, but they rallied back to basically make it even. But in the second half, Ty Lue made another adjustment. Nick Batum starting over Chris Dunn. Chris Dunn might be out of the rotation for Game 7, and it worked. Jokic picked up a 3. Clippers went on a run. They have a 7-point lead. Nuggets battled back to 2. And then Michael Porter missed a layup, and that was the turning point. Michael Porter, but not that it was Michael Porter. I mean, there was a lot of stuff that happened, but that was a play that was right there. Nuggets battled back from some adversity, misses a layup, goes the other way. It was a corner 3. And then the Nuggets just look sluggish. They look gassed. It was such a disappointing stretch. The end of the third quarter was one of the most disappointing stretches of the entire playoffs for the Nuggets. 79-90 Clippers. We go to the fourth frame. Kawhi Leonard's making shots. Jamal Murray starts to make shots, which is nice. And Peyton Watson, I thought, actually had a pretty nice game. We'll talk about him later. But he made a couple plays as well that were pretty impressive. And the Clippers started pulling away. They get up by as many as, I think, 14, 15, 16, somewhere in there. Nuggets did rally late. They cut it to 6 points with 2 minutes and 43 seconds left. A play that was somewhat pivotal. I thought Westbrook had a very good game. We'll talk about him too, but he missed a layup that would have cut it to 3 points with plenty of time. Missed that one. Powell hits the 3 in the corner the other direction. Christian Braun had free throws that cut it to 5 with 58 seconds, but the Nuggets would not get closer.
Yep.
They put it away. They played phenomenal. They played physical. They made some adjustments. They did some smart things, and a lot of Nuggets, especially the key ones, just did not show up. Let's go to our Red Hawk Roofing big takeaways. All right, Superstar Dev, start us off.
My Red Hawk Roofing big takeaway in this one is there was a lot of adjustments that Tyronn Lue made with that Clipper team. One of the big adjustments, I don't think it was an adjustment. Jokic did not play well.
Yeah.
He just did not have a game that we're accustomed to. It's been multiple games in a row now. But this one just, the energy was down. He was like slow the entire time. And he's a player that plays at his own speed. Didn't take care of the ball. And Zubac kind of got the best of him, especially defensively, where he kind of just forced Jokic into the shots that he wanted Jokic to take. Got his hands on a lot of the balls, was able to get physical with them the entire time. And Jokic just had a hard time trying to see what they were throwing at him, but just was not Jokic. Yeah. And that's worrisome right now for me, that he just cannot get into the rhythm and the groove that we're accustomed to seeing.
I think he was frustrated too with the fouls. This is really an old Yoke, but because Yoke has kind of overcome this over the last handful of years. But tonight I felt like the physicality, and it was physical. I do think that, this game, they allowed the physicality. And unlike last game where Denver brought it, it was the Clippers bringing it. And so they're just roughing him up. Batum guarding him in the post, roughing him up. And you could tell it distracted him more than it bothered him, but it also distracted him because he was in the official's ear all night and just couldn't get it going.
Well, and on a lot of his shots close to the rim, he was looking for the foul rather than looking to score, particularly on that one late in the game.
Yeah.
That layup he had when, the Nuggets needed to score to stay in the game. And I forget, what was it, 5-point game at that point?
I think that would have cut it to 3.
And he's goes to his right hand, gets past Zubac, and looks like he was more focused on drawing the foul, which he did. He was fouled on it. He got fouled on the left shoulder, but that was his focus instead of, just making the shot. And yeah, man, I agree. I feel like the refs were kind of in his head.
Yeah.
He did shoot 2 free throws. I mean, they were so physical on him.
He had a right to be upset.
Definitely, for sure.
But you can't let it take you out of the
threw him
flow.
off his game.
Yeah, it threw him off his game.
They put
just 5 points in the
Sombor squeeze on him, and they roughed him up.
What do you got, Wind?
My Red Hawk Roofing big takeaway, you could go a lot of ways. Jamal Murray was so good in the first quarter of this game and then was quiet.
Yeah.
For most of the rest of it. Had a couple big shots in the second half, and like he's done, in games this series. But the Clippers made some adjustments. It was Batum guarding him for a lot after that first quarter, and he could not shake loose. He had 21 in this game. Most came in that first half. And it did feel like for a second that it was going to be a repeat of the game 5 that Murray had. It felt like in the first quarter we were headed towards another huge Murray game. And the Clippers just turned the water off. After those first 12 minutes, he played a lot, 44 minutes, played a ton in the first half. Maybe fatigue set in, but he could just not get free. Denver could not get him free. And, the Nuggets, they struggled to score. In that third quarter, only 22 points. That's when the Clippers really pulled away. And, Jamal really couldn't do much.
And I think part of why Jamal couldn't, and this is my Red Hawk Roofing big takeaway, the reason I think Jamal couldn't do much is they went with a bigger lineup. They had Derrick Jones Jr. out there a lot more. They had Nick Batum out there a lot more. They didn't have Chris Dunn out there very much at all. And it's twofold. One, Denver's just not guarding Chris Dunn. They're daring him to shoot. And I think the Clippers are saying, we're not going to risk it. As much as he can provide some other stuff, we don't want him just getting set shots from the corner over and over again. So they go with guys, and Derrick Jones Jr. tonight, 2 of 6. He hits a couple threes. Nick Batum, 2 of 5. So they get 4 threes out of him. But more importantly, it's length. And I think with Yoke tonight, it's twofold. One, the physicality goes up. But 2, you get a little bit of extra length out there. You're not getting much from Murray now. You're not getting much from Michael Porter. And you have all this length in the paint. And I think it just, Yoke was not aggressive enough tonight. And then the physicality. And I always go to this one because I'm a big guy. I know what this is like. Nick Batum in particular, whenever he gets to guard Yoke in the post, it's no rules. It's like he just gets away with it. And I get it, man. It's a game 6. You have to overcome it. But that's why this adjustment, like PJ Tucker used to be this guy, you know?
He was like the original.
Draymond Green's a little bit like this. You're just allowed about 50% more physicality when you're the smaller guy for whatever reason. And tonight, Jokic just didn't seem like he was up for that challenge. He was in the second quarter. He wasn't beyond that. And now it sets up a game 7 where they are not going to win unless Jokic wills them to that victory. And it's not going to be easy. The table is not going to be set for Jokic in that game.
Yeah, this was a cat and mouse type of game where Ty Lue just came into this game where he discussed that there was going to be an adjustment, and he went to it later in the game, and it played off because Chris Dunn, who coming into this series, it was like he's going to slow down Jamal. He's going to be an irritant to Jamal the entire time, and Jamal did not see him. He really didn't. Just was able to use his size over him, get to his spots, and he got himself going in that last game. And Ty Lue decided to go with the longer guys, the bigger guys that are physical, but also they have that length, they have that size, and they're athletic. I mean, Jones Jr., like he was out there the entire time. They had to switch with Batum, and I felt like Batum guarded every single player on every single possession. Game. Like he's guarding Jokic, he's guarding Jamal. They were trying to get switches, and it just felt like there was a guy on him at all times that has that length. And then you want to stay away from Kawhi. So now you're kind of limited to what you can do offensively. And we already know that Jamal like takes a long time of getting set, in his offenses. So now you're getting the ball later in the shot clock. Now you're forced to make a pass later on, or you got to score like a little bit slower. So that was an adjustment that they went to that paid off. And then you get to be physical with Jokic down low. So that played right into the Clippers' hand with Jamal in particular, who started out well. They made the adjustment, and then it took them a while to get going. The Nuggets have to be ready for that because they're going to go right back to that in Game 7.
Yeah, 100%, man. I mean, this one, the other thing that I think happens here, and I got to get to the tape because Michael Porter had a horrible night tonight. If you just look at the minus 24, but he had 5 points in 24 minutes.
We had 0 points, 0 rebounds, 0 assists in the first half. And I suspect some of this at least has to do with what we're talking about, putting a bigger lineup out there and just having a little bit more range, not needing to create rotation. So there's just less opportunity, less rebounding opportunities for him. And the big question now comes in Game 7, where do you go? How long of a leash does he get? Is this new lineup, does it affect Jamal and Michael Porter both? And now those guys, that's the whole idea, is those guys are kind of cut off at the knees. Michael Porter is going to probably be on a bit of a short leash going into Game 7. I don't think Denver's going to have to adjust their starting lineup because you can't. I mean, Denver doesn't have, they only have 6 playable guys. You don't adjust your starting lineup.
But I do think that 24 minutes, it would not be a shock to me if he played less than that in Game 7 if he starts the way he started in this one.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. Maybe the shoulder was bothering him more today. It's kind of tough to know with that. But
he had the bigger bandage on tonight.
The diaper, yeah. I think he had that in Game 5 too. But
yeah, he also, sorry to cut you off, he also, he showed it in this game. He grabbed the ball with one hand. He's inbounding with one hand. Like, they knew that he was bothered, and they played to that. So if he's going to be that banged up, if he's not going to shoot it, if he's not going to be aggressive, if he really cannot do anything with that other hand, he becomes a liability. He was as bad in this game as he was good in the last game.
Yeah. So he says, why don't you talk about the referees? I mean, we kind of did. It was a physical game. We're not going to be the show that sits here and complains about fouls or blames the refs. I mean, every game takes on its own texture. And the Nuggets were very physical in Game 5. I mean, that was part of the adjustment, was they were the aggressors, both 4 and 5. They got into Kawhi. They got into James Harden. Tonight, it was the other way. Like, one team always sets the physicality. And tonight, it just was the Clippers. The Nuggets played this one like a Game 6. The Clippers played this one like a Game 7.
Yeah, they were definitely more physical. I mean, they brought the fight for sure, but we can't sit here and also act like Jokic got a fair whistle tonight. I mean, it was ridiculous. He shot 22 times. 18 of those were twos. He went to the line once.
Yeah.
2 foul shots.
Yeah.
I mean, it was ridiculous. But as we said at the top, it did feel like the refs got in his head. He can't let that happen at this point in the season for sure. And it seemed like he was more focused on, trying to get the foul. I don't know if he was hanging out with Harden last night or what, but he was more focused on the foul call than the basket.
Yeah.
A lot of times he passed up a bunch of threes. He only shot 4 threes. He was open for more. I feel like he should shoot more. Made 2 of them, but yeah, just not the focused, locked in Jokic tonight. And it was kind of spread to the rest of the team at times.
We're going to take a break now, but I will say that there's one silver lining, and I just saw it in the chat from somebody, but it is true. The Clippers, it felt like played a great game tonight. Felt like they dominated. Nuggets felt like they played a horrible game. There was a lot that went wrong, and it was a 6-point game. Denver was actually in this, and I look at it and I go, how much better can the Clippers play? They can. This wasn't like the best game, but they can play a little bit. But I definitely think this is more close to what you should expect from them in Game 7. Like, you should expect this type of game from them. And Denver, this was probably their second worst game, I would say, of the series so far. So I look at this and I say Denver was able to hold it close, even with an adjustment that caught them a little bit off guard and with really bad performances from Jamal and Michael Porter, and especially DeAndre Jordan, who I do not think we're going to see in Game 7. All right, let's take a break. On the other side, let's get to some more topics here, including the pressure on the Nuggets going into Saturday.
Oh, God. Guys, check out Lucy. If you don't know what it is, it's 100% pure nicotine, always tobacco free. Lucy Breakers. Those are nicotine pouches with an extra surprise. Each pouch holds a capsule that can be broken open to release extra flavor and hydration. You can set yourself up with a subscription, have Lucy delivered straight to your door. Tons of different flavors, different strengths as well. 100% pure nicotine, always tobacco free. And you can get a subscription, just like you can get a subscription to everything. You can get one for Lucy. You can set that up at lucy.co/DNVR. Level up your nicotine routine with Lucy. Go to that site, lucy.co/DNVR. Use promo code DNVR to get 20% off your first order. Lucy has a 30-day refund policy if you change your mind. Again, lucy.co. Use the code DNVR, 20% off. Lucy products are only for adults of legal age, and every order is age verified. Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical. Also, if you guys are looking for something to do, in town, check out Supercross. The Monster Energy AMA Supercross Championship. It's at Empower Field at Mile High on May 3rd. Might be doing something else that night as well. But it is May 3rd at Mile High. Witness the world's elite dirt bike riders battle for the coveted title of Supercross champion. Again, May 3rd, 2 nights from now. A couple other things going on that night, but tickets on sale right now. Tickets on sale now. If you're looking for something fun to do with the fam, you can go to FanFest there, see the world's elite riders as they prepare and practice. That's 10 to 4 on that day. Monster Energy AMA Supercross. Witness intense competition as the world's elite riders go head-to-head. Be part of the action at Empower Field at Mile High on May 3rd. Nothing compares to seeing it live. The Monster Energy AMA Supercross. I don't know any of the Supercross riders offhand, other than Chase Sexton and Hayden Deegan. But check them out. May 3rd at Mile High.
All right, we're back here. Segment 2. I think that we can keep breaking down this game before we get to too much of the pressure. Jamal Murray's kind of floated by here. 21, 8, and 8 is a pretty good line for him, honestly, if you look at it. He was a +2. I mean, that's not a surprise. The Nuggets, Jokic, Jamal, Christian Braun, they won their minutes. So, again, something to be encouraged by here because I think they're going to play a lot of minutes in Game 7. But Jamal, 12 points in the first quarter, 9 the rest of the way. Is it, in your opinion, just about the length that they put on him? Did he not have the same bounce? And what is your belief that Jamal Murray is going to have a great Game 7 based on what you've seen so far?
Well, first off, with Jamal in these games, so if he has a monster game like he had last game, like you take a step back and you let him cook and you let him work. He picked up right where he left off with having a big game. So then I feel like everybody goes into like chill mode or calm. Like I want to continue to take a step back. And this game probably called for more aggressive Jokic early on. But if Jamal has it going on, like, you're still in that mode. But you're not getting aggressive Jokic when that happens because now Jamal is like dribbling the air out of the ball because he feels that he continues to have it. Now other guys are working around him instead of working with him because you become the guy that's watching. And you don't want to overstep. So it is. I feel like it's a conundrum that the team has with their point guard. going into that mode all the time. It wasn't like he was only shooting the entire time because he had an 8 assists and he had it going on early. But I just do think that it puts in a weird spot. Also, the adjustment that Adelman made of keeping him out there instead of resting him and then letting, Westbrook get going to start, the bench unit. He played well in last game too. So like you give him that runway as well. He kept him out there a bit too long. And I think that was more time for them to try to figure out Jamal. It was also him trying to figure out what he wanted to be. He didn't shoot the ball at all. He was just out there. So now he's tired. He's playing a lot of minutes. So I really do think this is a tough spot for Jamal. I don't think that he had a great game. I don't think he had a really good game or anything like that. But going into the next game, I know he's a person that rises to the occasion. I know he's going to be ready for that adjustment. He'll know that they're going to put a bigger guy on him and be a lot more aggressive because that's what it will call for. So you'll get to see an aggressive Jokic. You'll get to see an aggressive Jamal. I think that it would be a lot more of peanut butter and jelly in that setting. So now, because now they're in desperate mode.
Yeah,
everybody will be. So I think that it'll just be a little bit different. So mixed bag type of games for Jamal. I don't think that he played bad per se, but I do think that it played right into what the Clippers wanted the Nuggets to be tonight.
Yeah. But with how Jokic was playing and how the rest of the Nuggets were on offense, you kind of needed a steadier Jamal game throughout the second half too. And the second through fourth quarters like we had in Game 5. You don't even need him to score 43, but you needed him to keep that pressure on the defense. And I mean, Chris Dunn started this game, and Murray scored on him pretty easily, got to his spots, got great looks, and then after Chris Dunn went out in that second quarter, he didn't play again. Just 10 minutes for Dunn in this game, and Murray's gotten the looks he's wanted to get against Dunn in this whole series. He made them all in Game 5, missed some leading up to that, but he can get where he wants against Dunn. He's got a tougher time against more length, and that's what he saw, after that first quarter. So I honestly think it was as simple as that, and fatigue as well. He played a ton of minutes, 44 minutes. I think that's the second most in this game.
And that's one of the things that's scary about a Game 7 is, Harden played 47. By the way, Harden, what a bounce back from him.
He brought it tonight.
We talked about it in the pregame. What are we going to get? Are we going to get a fold game from him? He brought it, and he played 47 minutes, which is insane to think about. And he controlled it, was not bothered.
He did tighten up a little in the fourth.
He still had a good
help
night.
Leave the door open.
It is funny though if you look at it: 28, 6, and 8 for Harden, 25, 7, and 8 for Jokic, and it's like, terrible tonight. Harden, incredible. It's like the same exact stat line. But yeah, with Jamal, I mean, he's just the Nuggets need him. I mean, Game 7s, we've been the Nuggets can't do anything but Game 7.
No, they can't play anything.
How many have we had?
Dramatic series.
So first year the playoffs, you get a Game 7 against San Antonio, Game 7 against Portland.
Yep.
Next year is the bubble. You get Game 7 against Utah, Game 7 against the Clippers. Then is there another Game 7 in here somewhere that we're forgetting about?
Yeah.
Which one?
Minnesota.
Oh yeah, Minnesota last year. So this is the 6th Game 7 of the Jokic era, which is kind of insane, man.
It's not fun either.
That's a lot of Game 7s.
It's so stressful.
So stressful
because really you leave it to chance. There's anything could happen in those games. Like there really is foul trouble or a guy just having a bad night or just really anything. That's why it's important for you to take care of business. But it really does seem like this team is destined for that. That's just kind of the Nuggets way.
Probably a physical game. It's probably going
to be an ugly game.
And they're going to say we're going to leave it up to the players. So there's going to be a lot of getting away with fouls because you don't want to be the one that steals the Game 7 of putting it on the refs. So Denver has to be ready for that. They have to be the aggressors. They have to hit. They got to be the ones not getting into it refs, but actually playing through that as well. But you leave it to that. And you can't. You're not supposed to.
Yeah. So that one will be a really tough one. I mean, Christian Braun tonight, 5 of 7, 14 points. He actually had most of those points at the end. I mean, he was this is why it's tough. Denver only lost by 6, so there's something encouraging here, but I feel like Denver kind of hit some big shots. Christian Braun in particular.
He hit a couple massive threes.
And so it's hard to say how close was this game. I mean, it was a run, so it still counts. But his impact on James Harden just wasn't there tonight.
He was not the same Christian Braun that we have been seeing. I mean, offensively, I think he salvaged the night with a couple of big shots, knocked down a couple of threes in a row, but he was not scoring. And also, it was the young Christian Braun, like getting baited on fouls early. He allowed James Harden to get comfortable early, which he had not been doing. He was playing very physical with him and not letting him get to his left. But this game, he did a lot of that you like are frustrated by, handing the cookie jar, letting him get to his spots, letting him go left, not trying to score and be aggressive early on. And I think that led to them just feeling comfortable. And you didn't want the Clippers to feel comfortable. So this was a letdown spot defensively for Christian Braun. He's not a player that you place blame on at all in this game, but you want him to get back to the defense and like hang his, head on that side of the ball. Because that's how they're going to win a Game 7. So I expect him to bounce back in it. But I don't think it was a good Christian Braun game.
Yeah, he let Harden get to the rim way too easily today, and also got caught reaching, on a lot of those Harden drives where I felt like definitely in Game 5 he did such a good job of not reaching and not letting Harden get those cheap fouls because, this Clippers team is so good. You put your hand in there for a second, they're going to draw that foul.
Yeah.
That's just how they're programmed, and they don't miss those a lot. And he just got caught too many times tonight. Harden takes advantage of that. And then, you got to force Harden right also. And it seemed like he just had way too many left-hand straight line drives to the rim.
Yeah. The other thing about Game 7 coming up is, Denver, Michael Porter's rough tonight. Jamal Murray disappears for a little bit. So you're down to like Jokic, Christian Braun, Aaron Gordon, was in the circle of trust tonight. I thought Russ played really great. Russ was phenomenal, 14, 10, and 6. So Russ too. But then past that, I actually thought P-Watt was really good tonight too.
He was?
In his minutes. But DeAndre played, it's weird. This was a 6-point game, and I don't want to overstate this because it was only 3 minutes. But I thought, and I said this in the pregame show, so this is not like a take, I'm adjusting after this game. DeAndre on rewatch in the last game was atrocious.
He's been terrible.
Westbrook made a bunch of shots. He was like 5 for 5 during those, so you didn't notice it as much. But when you're going back and watching it, you're like, this is tough. Today it was really rough, and Ty Lue made an adjustment that all series long we've talked about Adelman. He's not stuck to a script like, oh, they're subbing this guy out. We're going to sub our guy. We're going to adjust. When they came out with DeAndre Jordan, I get you have to give Jokic a spell, but you could have played Peyton Watson in those minutes because they went tiny. There's nothing for DeAndre to do out there.
No, it was a massive mistake. It was a massive mistake from Adelman to play Jordan.
And he stuck with him for 3 minutes. It was a -6 in those minutes, which felt worse than that.
There was no reason to have him out there. Go with Gordon at backup center. Put Watson out there.
Put P-Watt in, man.
They had Batum as their biggest dude out there. There was no reason for DJ to be out there. He was awful. It was just a disaster. It was a small part of the game, but it was a huge momentum shifter.
Yeah, DeAndre Jordan is one of those players. We've all been watching these games, the watch-alongs and everything like that. I did not know how bad he was playing until you brought it up. On the rewatch. And I was just sitting there thinking, but then watching this one, he had bad play after bad play. Like
he was
only on the court for like 5 or 6 plays.
Yeah.
He had 5 bad plays in a row. In one of them, they didn't call on him. So it was really 6 bad plays where he's just fouling the entire time, or he's not where he's supposed to be, which leads to a foul. This was a bad DeAndre Jordan play, but also I feel like that's why, Jokic has to be perfect in these type of situations and games because you can't even afford 3 minutes. That 3 minutes was a big part of why they lost because you want to rest your guys. You want Jokic to sit on the bench for a little longer and, to get some more time to rest. You want Aaron Gordon to not have to play the backup center early in the game. So you just need 5 minutes. Give them 5 minutes of something. Just not bad the entire time. Go get fouled.
Yeah.
I feel like they masked it with at least he had a couple of assists in the last game, or at least he got fouled a couple times that put him at the line, or just got the foul count up. But in this one, it was just all bad for the entire time that he was out there.
Let's take a quick break here, break 2, because we have Brendan Vogt live from Ball Arena that we'll get to right on the other side.
If you guys have any flooring needs, you got to hit up Empire today. the best floors out there because that's all they do. They just do floors. You can, go to some of those big box stores, wander the aisles, not really get the one-on-one customer service that you need for a big job like your floors. Go to Empire today. They'll take care of you. Best customer service. They'll treat you right. And they'll deliver. I mean, they're the best in the business. They've done our floors here in the lounge upstairs. Not really, just up 4 stairs. But Empire today, the best bet for new floors. They live and breathe flooring. They'll be with you every step of the way. And they will bring the showroom right to your home. You can pick the right flooring, the right colors for your space, see how it looks with your furniture in your house. That's with Empire today. You can schedule a free in-home estimate today. Some things are just better at home. DNVR listeners can get a $350 discount. When you use the promo code DNVR, $350 discount when you use the promo code DNVR. Restrictions apply. Visit empiretoday.com/DNVR for full details. And also, UC Health. DNVR Nuggets is brought to you by UC Health, the official healthcare partner of the Denver Nuggets. Go to uchealth.org for more info. UC Health, live extraordinary.
All right, we are back and we got Brennan Vogt live from Intuit Dome. Why don't we bring him in and say about this one?
Presented
by Bet365.
365.
Vogt, tough one, man. Tough one. What was it like watching it in person?
Tough. It felt like this series got back to how it started, honestly. It felt, for a little bit there, some other factors were deciding big margins of victory. This one, a close game and turnovers, points off turnovers. Just kind of felt like all those little things, the details, as Jokic called them earlier in the season, were going to decide this one. And as they're trying to make that comeback in the fourth, it was hard not to think of all the mistakes they made that kind of required them to be perfect down the stretch. So it was tough to watch. Another great game in this series. They like the way that they finished this game, the Nuggets. They hope it can carry into some momentum in Game 7. But ultimately, points off turnovers, guys. And I think little things that they had done such a good job of in just the last game really bit them in this one. So happy Clippers fans tonight.
Yeah, there you go. All right, well, take us to the locker room.
Locker room was... it started out quiet, man. Started out intense. I think eventually I heard some laughs and some guys loosened up a little bit. We're starting talking more about Game 7, what to expect. But I'll be honest, man. I walked in, AG is sitting there, hands on his knees, eyes closed, deep breath. Didn't open those eyes for quite some time. Jamal Murray sat there, hand on his chin, kind of looked like he was replaying some of the game in his head. He did not move a muscle for 10 minutes. Those two guys looked particularly frustrated. But I would say I have certainly seen the locker room in worse shape this season. I don't think it was a defeated group, guys, just a frustrated one.
All right.
We heard from David Alderman, who said they got sped up in that third quarter, and it reminded him of Game 3. They got into them. They crossed half court unorganized. That's how turnovers happen. And then he felt like they were trying to cut into a deficit, and that's how turnovers happen as well. It's just what went down in Game 3. And then also in that third quarter, Adelman said, we did not win a single 50-50 ball. That is something he mentioned in the locker room to the guys. He said, look, ultimately, this is what I expected. We wanted to close it out tonight, but this has felt like a 7-game series from the jump. It's an evenly matched series. A lot of good players playing well. He then said, when he got to Jokic, he said, Nikola gets fouled a lot. I'm not sure what was happening tonight, but for him to shoot 2 free throws, they're putting smaller guys on him, and smaller guys seem to be able to do whatever they want. And so Adelman said, I'm really excited for Saturday, really excited for us to do the exact same thing with their stars, because if that's how the refs are calling it, we'll get just as physical. We will go there in Game 7. Another note on Jokic. Guys, I personally felt like Jokic was trying to get that whistle almost in a stubborn way at times tonight, turned down the open 3, and Adelman said, yeah, look, Jokic being a little more selfish maybe in Game 7, maybe looking like him just taking those shots. He may have to take and make some of those. Thought that was astute. He did think Peyton Watson played well tonight. He had good activity. He tried to play him more. He wanted to get guys out in and out early because he's trying to be mindful of the war of attrition here, going 7 games, relying so heavily on your starters just in the first round. But yeah, on Nick Batum, he says he makes rotations harder. He's a guy who can really shoot. Late in the game, I felt like we really figured out what we were trying to do defensively against the, Batum in there instead of Chris Dunn. So that's something they're going to carry into Game 7. Feel like they maybe figured it out a bit. Obviously, they couldn't convert on any of those stops or turnovers. But when they have all the shooters out there, you have to be much better with stunting, much better communication. So he said, our defense really picked up on the fourth. It stinks to put all that effort into that and come up short, but we hope it's a momentum builder for Saturday. When asked about the home crowd and the juice, he said, yeah, look, we need the juice. We know the home crowd's going to bring it. We just need to protect the ball. That's what this is about. So there was a real strong theme for Adelman, guys. It was about turnovers. It was about points off turnovers. And I do think that's what's decided all the close games in this series. Peyton agreed. He said the 50-50 balls, talked to Peyton in the locker room, killed them. He does think that the way last series ended last year is going to help them. He says we all have a strong memory of this. We do not want to let that happen again. He did say that this series was always going to be a dogfight. They're disappointed not to close it out tonight, but they always wanted a dogfight. Peyton actually said this is the dogfight we needed. I followed up on that. He just said adversity. We needed adversity. We need to hit it. We need to come through on the other side together. They feel like they saw some things down the stretch that worked. They feel like at this point, both teams have seen everything in terms of adjustments now. All the cards have been played. Lastly, Peyton on Jokic's whistle. He said 1,000% he was getting fouled. We've seen it on his arms all year. We know that he's in there getting hit. Obviously, it's hard to see when there are 5 bodies down there, but we lean on the refs to make those calls. But he expects it. We expect it. And Peyton said one thing you didn't see tonight was Jokic take his mouth guard out and get a tech. They were ready for it. Obviously, guys, they couldn't overcome it and get this win. I am going to try to hustle back and hear from Jamal Murray and Jokic, and then I'll see you guys this weekend. Unfortunately, I thought we were going to have a weekend off, but
we'll spend Saturday together. Get home safe. We'll see you, Vogt.
All right, fellas.
Yoke might have to ditch. They can't see the scratches anymore.
Ooh, you might be right.
I mean, I'm not right, but
I do. Another thing that he didn't mention in there is that Adelman talked about him being more selfish in Game 7, and in particular from 3. And I think that might be right. I think Yoke's going to have to let it fly from 3 on Saturday.
Yeah, I mean, he's a great shooter. He's shot it great from 3 in this series when he has put it up.
Yeah,
he was 2 of 4 tonight, and he passed up a bunch.
Yeah. He should have took like 8 or 9.
Yeah, he probably will need to in Game 7.
Yeah, he probably will need to. Russell Westbrook, yeah,
he was great. Aside from that missed layup down the stretch, I mean, he was huge. Made a couple of threes, 6 assists, 10 rebounds. He was awesome for like 95% of this game. I don't know if the Nuggets are in this game without him tonight. I love the juicy broad. He was a spark. And 35 minutes, like he was obviously the guy to close at Mike's place. So you got to be happy with Westbrook's game.
I mean, I don't know where you'll be without him. Like they have 6 guys that they're playing. He's their 6th guy, and he's like playing more minutes than their starter. So he's been a starter the entire time. He's playing hard on both ends of the floor. He wasn't the only one that missed layups in this game.
For sure.
There was multiple missed layups. People aren't talking about those plays. He missed a layup that Peyton Watson got and finished, but also he got a rebound and a finish from Peyton Watson. So it goes both ways. I know there was another missed layup, but that's just part of the game. He's playing well. He's giving it his all. He had 10 rebounds, 6 assists. He's being aggressive the entire time. And he's bringing it. And that's a good game. You cannot blame
definitely a lot
Westbrook.
of giveth tonight.
A lot of giveth.
A lot of giveth.
There's some taketh.
Yeah,
more giveth. Though.
And there's taketh with every player.
Yeah,
you don't blame it on him.
Yeah, I agree, man. Russ provided a lot. He hit some big threes early on.
For sure.
Just provided some intensity. Honestly, the Nuggets needed. I mean, this is why when you get to Game 7 now, a lot of these guys, we just mentioned how many Game 7s the Nuggets have been in, including Michael Porter, Aaron Gordon, Jamal Murray, Nikola Jokic. Russell Westbrook's been in his fair share as well, and he's just been, those games are going to come down to will. When Adelman says that in the third quarter, the Nuggets didn't get any of the 50-50 balls, he's right. That's why you need a Russ on the floor for those moments.
Yep.
I kind of feel like Game 7 is going to have to be a Russ game. The same way that tonight was a Russ game. He played 35. I just wouldn't be surprised because he's one guy that is not going to come up short for effort.
Right. And I mean, if you're going to get those 50-50 balls, Russ has got to get some of them. Like, if you're going to win that battle, he's got to be front and center in that. I mean, he was great on the glass today. Had a couple huge rebounds, 2 offensive rebounds. I remember one that was massive. And yeah, 6 assists, just 2 turnovers. That missed layup really sucked. But it is what it is, man.
They also got good performances from both of their guys. Really, all three. If you talk about their big three offensive, I know Zubats would really be their big three, but I'm talking about their scores. Norman Powell being the third.
And then they went away from Zubats down the stretch.
They always do.
Yeah.
27 points for Kawhi, 28 for Harden, 24 for Norman Powell. Like, that's the formula. If you get that production from those three guys, they're going to win a lot of them. So
yeah, you got to offer some resistance. You just have to.
But here's the big thing. And I have to bring it up because it's going to be brought up whether I do or not. Nikola Jokic, Jamal Murray, this core has lost 2 Game 7s at home. That's so rare. It honestly has
Do you
not.
really count the first one, though?
Why not?
It was their first time in the playoffs.
It just
They were
counts.
so
It doesn't
young.
matter. That Portland team wasn't very good.
I know, but like neither was that Nuggets team. Though.
It doesn't matter. Like, you work hard to get home court advantage for a reason.
Totally.
You know, Denver won at the end. They needed those 3 games. They got all 3 of them. But you get it because it matters to have home court. And if you have home court, everybody always says you have home court to Game 7, it's rare to lose. It actually does not happen much.
Yep.
And this core has lost 2 of them. You lose the third one, that's going to be line item number 1. Like, you will never run away from that. That'll become a talking point for these players. So I feel like this game is a legacy game, whether they want it to be or not, like a major legacy game. They might be the only 2 players in the last 40 years to lose 2 Game 7s on a home court. If you get a third one, it's like you're kind of buried narrative-wise.
It's a huge
Fair or
legacy
not.
game. I think most of all for Yoke, because this could be a third time he's lost in the first round, or just 2.
Just once. He's only lost the Golden State year. Oh, shoot.
Oh, right. The Suns series, they beat Portland in that first round.
This night is terrible.
So this would be a second first round loss.
You grab me something, Gil?
Yeah, Adam,
that
didn't you
first
just
one,
get your
you know,
laptop back?
against-
I know. I avoided it, thank
against
God.
Golden State was without Jamal. But yeah, that'll be tough. I mean, I do feel like with Game 7s, with home court, it seems like it does mean less now than it did years ago. I can't even finish my point.
I'm sorry. I just got water right on my crotch. I can't wait to go down to the bar. This is like
You're
the,
wearing
like,
black pants, so that's
this is like
good.
insult to injury, where you're like the night's all down, and now I've got a wet crotch.
For sure.
Keep showing it off.
Thank you, buddy. Thank you, Kale.
I feel like home court kind of means less and less as we like go this direction in the NBA, but still, I mean, it is what it is. It would be a brutal loss, no doubt. I agree. It's definitely going to paint the picture of like the post championship Nuggets.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I think that Game 7, like, first off, you're in front of the home crowd, like every single bucket.
Maybe
that
I'm
you
just
get.
tainted by
For
the
sure.
last
For
home
sure.
game.
But I just
7.
feel like the momentum is like it could go in either direction. Like if you get off to a good start, or if you start to come back, you have that crowd behind you, or they're diehards. They're all in on that, and it's important for you to have those type of legacies. You talk about, you know, Jokic's legacy is on the line, but also Jamal, like maybe there's tough decisions that have to be had if he does not, if they don't win, or if they don't play, you know, the way that they're supposed to, and they get a first round loss. So this one, I mean, a lot is riding on this core, on this team, in this game right now,
this one
especially
game.
with there's not a lot of direction for the future. You don't know who their head coach is. There's going to be a lot of questions there. So like you really do have to win this game and extend this season, just to say like, let's start new, let's get right, let's like make a big push. So like for this to be a Game 7 on Saturday, it really all comes down to this, because this might be the last time you see that core, if not.
There's no question about it, man. The pressure is going to be immense, but the pressure is going to be on the Clippers as well. You know, like this is not a throwaway season for them. And when you talk about tonight, you got great minutes from Nick Batum, Derek Jones Jr., Bogdan Bogdanovic. They all made important threes. You know, this is one of those games where who do you expect to perform well in a Game 7? I expect Jokic.
Stars.
Aaron Gordon, I expect to play well. Jamal, I wish I could say for sure. Yes, I kind of expect CB and I expect Russ. Outside of that, it's Peyton Watson. Do you have to give him just some minutes to spell? Like, how does that go? He had a big 3 tonight, and then you go to the other side and say Dunn, Derek Jones Jr., Bogdanovich. Like, are we counting on those guys to make big shots?
No, I don't even think that they trusted him in that game. Like, really, this is going to be locked in, small core.
Yeah.
Who wants it more?
Yeah. Should we talk Peyton Watson real quick? 11 minutes, 3 of 5. He hit a 3 in the corner, and he just made some good defensive plays, some rim protection plays, had a block. It's not like he plays a ton of minutes. He only played 11, but I will say that this game to me was very encouraging because I don't know that he's been up and down. He's been okay.
The last couple 2 games have been encouraging.
But this one to me was like, all right, those were good minutes. Even though he was a -5 in those minutes, but those minutes to me were like, I didn't hate him at all.
Well, he had a couple great challenges at the rim, a couple great contests, got a block, and then I think I forget who was driving and who shot it, but like deterred another shot there. And that was in a stretch where like the Clippers were just going to the rim at will. And he kind of got in there and changed the mindset defensively, it seemed like. I've gained some trust in P-Watt over these last 2 games.
Yeah.
I thought he was great in game 5. I think he played 8 minutes there, and he played 11 today, and 2 offensive rebounds as well. Still very shaky around the rim, but that's just P-Watt. I think you definitely go back to him in game 7 for sure.
Yeah, he was certainly impactful on the defensive end, and that's what he's there for. But also he knocked down a couple of, shots. He hit a big 3. He got
that was
dunked.
a huge 3.
Huge 3. But like he made momentum changing plays. That block off the backboard, like that catapulted them to like try to get a last push. He bought some time for them to try to figure out like the adjustment and like, okay, we're gonna sit down Jamal right now, or we're gonna sit down Christian Braun. Like you could put him in those, and it's just not gonna go horribly. I think that he earned more minutes, and we've seen him get a little bit, more minutes. And this was not him as the primary defender on like a Kawhi Leonard or anything like that. Kawhi made some tough shots on him as well, but he was out there with the starters. He got to show that I'm still around and I can make big plays. And I feel like you should trust him to at least give another 10 minutes just to buy some time.
Yeah. Something that has to happen in game 7 as well. AG's got to dominate the paint. And he did at times tonight.
Yeah.
But I still feel like there's more to gain there.
Yeah.
Like when he went into the paint, when he attacked the basket, he was great. Like he out-physicaled guys near the rim, but I felt like he was on the perimeter too much still.
Yeah.
And he was 1 of 6 from 3 in this. A couple bad threes too. Bunch of jumpers. Like that's where the Nuggets can win game 7 as well. In the paint, dominating the glass, just being the more physical, stronger bullies in there. And like when AG is in that mode, the Nuggets are. And like there were times tonight when he was, and he had his way. If they get that mismatch, they need to try to get that mismatch. Like that needs to be a very focused part of the Nuggets game plan. They got to seek that out. They got to go to him, and AG's got to live in the paint.
And crazy thing too, the Nuggets and Avs both at the same time. And I know this is a Nuggets show. A lot of our fans have no interest in hockey, but this is such a crazy thing and a big deal. They tip off, or puck drop and tip off are 30 minutes apart.
So just like tonight.
Saturday Nuggets early. I'm sure we'll be over in that studio, I'm guessing, for that one. I can't imagine how intense. Has there ever been 2 game 7s in Denver sports history in the same time?
This is so Denver.
Can't be.
Is there? I honestly don't think there ever has been.
I don't know if that's possible.
I don't know if it is either. The NHL, I mean, the NBA and NHL not coordinating on this, it's so insane, man. It's so crazy.
They probably don't even think about coordinating.
Television gets cut in half because you're trying to get revenue from a market. All like local service industry gets cut in half.
Well,
It's kinda crazy.
usually they're forced to be on opposite nights, but because the Nuggets had home court and the Avs didn't have home ice.
But it's not that hard to coordinate. Like they had days off in between, but they somehow had the same days off.
Every time. It's not They played a game 6 today. They played a game. They're going to play game 7. They played multiple games on the same day. And
1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. I think it was only game 4 that was separate.
That should not happen. Like it's just not right. Like,
but here's why they're at the same time. I mean, there's only one NHL game Saturday. I'm sure there's only one NBA game.
Which is even crazier that they're at the same time.
Nobody wants a midday Saturday time slot.
Saturday is going to be, it's the only NBA game on Saturday.
Let me look.
This is going to be the biggest narrative game. Like outside of the championship, this is going to be the biggest narrative game of like the Jokic
Clippers
era.
open as a 1.5 point
The
favorite.
Nuggets cannot lose that game. They cannot lose it.
Just can't do it.
You cannot do it. Or I
Cannot
might have to
do it.
retire. I might have to.
Me
But
too.
you know what? I have confidence. I have confidence in him. I think you're going to get a really good Jokic performance, a very aggressive one. I think he's going to leave it all out on the floor. And I think you're going to see a team play inspired and play tough. And it's going to be physical. It's going to be ugly. It's probably going to be like 94-91.
It's going to be an ugly game 7.
It's going to be very ugly. Frustrations and everything else. You're going to have
It's
guys.
going to be close. I'd be shocked if it's not close.
I'd be shocked as well. So it's going to be something special. Okay, we got any super chats to kind of go through? Okay, let's start going through them here.
All right, Nash, Sweden, Clippers, OKC, Minnesota, Cleveland. Steep climb for this roster.
It is very steep. It doesn't feel promising to have to go that route. But you know what? It could be the greatest finals run
Still on the table.
in NBA history. No one's
would
ever
be
done
tough.
4
If the
straight
Nuggets win game
7-game
7,
series.
they should just rest Jokic game 1 against OKC. Rest the starters. Scheduled loss in the playoffs. Maddox, this felt inevitable. Honestly, good vibes, guys.
Yeah.
Amin. Tonight was a night where Jokic needs to go for 40 plus, and he just wasn't interested in that. Denver must counter the Clippers.
Making sure I'm okay here. Nothing on here.
Denver must counter the Clippers small ball lineup in game 7. RP43. Murray and MPJ combined for 8 3-point attempts, too many pump fakes into tough twos and turnovers. Launched the damn 3.
There were some weird ones. Jokic had them too, though, tonight. There were some weird ones where Jamal, I remember at the end, passing up the wide open one, dribbling in, taking a really tough long 2. You're like, what the heck?
Yeah, or like the play where it was off of a timeout and they got a shot clock violation.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, man.
Shoot the ball.
Yeah, passed it at the last second to Russ.
Michael Myers. This game was a prime example of why MPJ will not be here next year. Max contract player is basically a DNP. Also turnovers.
Turnovers are the story, man. Denver, I mean, it wasn't even like they had that many.
Yeah,
It
Clippers
was,
played a clean game.
yeah, 12, which is low for a regular season game, but high for the playoffs, and you just can't have it. And they capitalized. They were ones that led to points.
Smuggets Gold, need the fellas after tonight. Not hopeful about game 7.
Hey, everybody, you get nervous, man, but it's game 7. It's equal for them. It's just as tough. So Denver's won 3. They've won 3. A lot of them have come down to the wire. It's crazy, man. This series is crazy. We talked, remember after game 1 or game 2, we were like, are we in for an instant classic? We might be. This might be an instant classic.
Man, the Nuggets don't play anything else. Tom Stewart, so frustrating. Win was there for the taking. Big implications for the next series in terms of freshness and rest. If we even make the next round. P-Watt looked good. On to the next one. Nuggets in 7.
You know what? I will give, this is the most squinting for silver linings, but I actually think it's true. I said the Nuggets needed 10 games for them to reach their top level. Going 7 in the first round helps. They're 7. If they get through it, they're 7 down. So,
Bro, you're squinting so hard, your eyes are just closed.
In a weird way, this is good reps. This is like, you're toughening them up, thickening the skin here.
GGX gang, I do not feel good at all about
Man,
game 7.
Nuggets fans, no confidence.
I swear to God, if the Nuggets lose another game 7 after going up 3-2.
Nuggets fans need to get
We'll
those
be
things.
going Colfax
those
mode
things
if
you
that's
put in
the
your shoes
case.
that make you a little taller, give you a little confidence. Nuggets fans need that little Rogaine or something.
Never heard of that before.
That's the one you put in your hair.
That's the I'm saying that they gotta.
Yeah. Francisco Yoke frustrated. Russ going for the layup instead of a dunk. Maul and Yoke not shooting threes even when they had the space. Don't understand really why. Just dribbling the ball into a shot clock violation.
One thing I will say is it's hard to fake urgency, and you would love the team to be more talented or just more like able to live in that zone. Some players are, but it is tough. I mean, the Clippers were fighting for their lives tonight. The Nuggets were not, and they kind of played like it.
Yeah.
Sadly. Peter
Peter Duck, Yoke needs to be taking the open threes, driving into the paint with 3-4 guys isn't working. I am effing done with Batum, aka Peanut Head. Lou beat Adelman, etc.
Tonight he did. But you could say the opposite from the last game. So back and forth.
I don't even know how to
Pope
pronounce that. Just play Russ 48 minutes. Take him home afterwards. 8 minutes of Russ per half is just right. Everything over that is too much. Oh, it was sarcasm at the beginning. Got it. Yoke 10 plus free throws in game 7.
I don't know. Maybe.
Musafa Jones missed opportunity to get more rest, but we never take the easy path. Nuggets in 7. PB&J game had a peanut allergic reaction this week. Meant to be.
That's hilarious. Hey, man, you get a game 7, a PB&J game in game 7.
Yeah.
I really do feel like it would propel them. We'll see.
Hell.
Yeah. 5-5-5 or Francisco again. Maul needs good screening, and every average defender can navigate Denver screens. I'm just mad because it was right there and we needed the rest. It's going to be Nugs in 7, no doubt about it. Keyword turnovers.
Hey, he's got confidence, Francisco. Unlike some of you.
5-5-5-ish. 100 P-Watts, Westbrooks versus one basketball hoop. How many layups are they making?
Man, it is tough.
There are no two better words in sports than game 7, we believe.
Let's go. We believe.
Alex T, why doesn't Joker take open threes? He shoots 43%.
I don't know, man.
Yeah,
Needs
he
to
needs
do
to
it.
take more.
It's a shoot.
Scott Fiskey, I believe despite what the majority of the chat thinks, anyone want to fly a poor veteran up to see game 7? By the way, appreciate all the DNVR guys. All the Nuggets are good.
All the Nuggets
All
are
the
good,
Nuggets,
man.
You got to show up.
Oh, this is the one right
Flacco,
here.
we go.
I saw this one come through, calmed my nerves completely.
I just finished the game. How freaking hard is it to win wearing the white jerseys?
I love this. This
They
is
never-
the problem.
they
What
never
was
win
wrong
in
tonight?
white. The jerseys.
It just makes sense.
Game 7, they're wearing the Mile High Cities. Luckily, Game 7, of
Yeah.
course, is the Mile High City jersey. Burn the
God.
freaking white jerseys already, I'm telling you.
Hey,
Dude, there's no way they can lose a game 7 at home in the Mile High cities.
We again have not fact checked him. He keeps his own spreadsheet. He showed us it was very detailed, so I really believe it.
Oh, for sure.
I can't believe I believe in this theory. I can't believe it, but it makes sense. It's the white jerseys on the road. We can't win.
Some guy was at the game today. It's always something. It's always something with this guy. It's always
I
something.
think I just ruined this cord somehow.
Just going out around them.
Oh, we got to get back in the lounge, man. We're not winning game 7 in here. Clippers fans were trying to get me kicked out because Game Time gave me a wall seat. Needless to say, third quarter was no fun.
Yeah.
The Nuggets have had a killer mentality one time in the Jokic era. Every other year they
So
procrastinate.
true, sadly.
Starts with 27 and 15's mentality. Unacceptable.
Sad but true.
Goran, Yoke was very hesitant tonight. I really don't get why he at least wasn't trying to shoot more threes. Let's hope Harden will return to his playoff hibernation in Game 7. Harden also went to the ISO game a lot more than the pick and roll. Braun didn't have Jokic helping him with the hedge in the pick and roll, and Braun got exposed.
Might be true.
Christoph, the later in a game, the more MPJ defender helps. We need to involve Mike more throughout a game to keep them honest. Layups should be layups.
Layups should be layups.
And Christoph forced them to use final adjustment. Batum.
Man.
It was a good adjustment. Proved to be, at least. Josh Barnett from Down Under.
Down Under.
We need to be reborn again. D-line, where are you, mate?
He'll be back for Saturday. He will be back for
I
Saturday.
know. We didn't have enough pregnant man talk
we did
tonight.
not.
Kyle M. Haywind. Hey, Kyle.
You got the loser one. I always pay attention to win, you get the high.
Congrats.
Yeah, congrats.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, it was a loss.
Thanks.
High wins.
Thanks. Big Honey, can we petition to never wear the white jersey?
I love it. I love it. What do we have if not our superstition scale? Nothing. We have nothing.
We have 1 minute to go. Why so serious? All the Nuggets got to be better. LFG.
All the Nuggets got to be better for sure. Cue that outro music here as we wind it down. Tough one tonight, man. Really tough one. But you know what? When we're old and gray and we tell our kids about this era, we'll be like, they just always played Game 7 every time. You just pencil it in. It was always Game 7. They never took care of business until the very last second. Buy yourself a ticket to go to that game if you're a diehard Nuggets fan. Make that place loud. Give the team your support. And if you can't afford to go there, come to the DNVR bar.
Just come on with it.
Hang with us,
Come on
man.
with
Let's
it.
make this a Nuggets crowd. It's weird that we have to compete with our own fan base. Get our Nuggets fans in.
It's kind of fitting for this season.
It really is.
But I'm going to tell
sadly.
you right now, the Avs, they've been packing the house. So y'all got to
They
get
have.
here early and
Yeah.
let's make sure it's all Nuggets people in the bar. Like make
5:30
sure
on
it's
Saturday.
5:30 Saturday. Everybody hit that like button on the way out. We'll see you.
We all silly like the mayor.